Rise of Destiny was released on December 1st, 2004. Notable cards in this set include Dekoichi the Battle-Chanted Locomotive, Thestalos the Firestorm Monarch, Darkblade the Dragon Knight, Machine Duplication, Monster Reincarnation, and Divine Wrath. Additionally, the first ever Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure decks Dragon's Roar and Zombie Madness were released on January 1st, 2005. While these decks didn't have a noticeable impact on the competitive metagame, they did offer a way for newer players to pick up highly sought-after staple cards such as Heavy Storm, Mystical Space Typhoon, Nobleman of Crossout, Pot of Greed, Premature Burial, Snatch Steal, Call of the Haunted, and Torrential Tribute, all for around $10. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, it feels so good to be out of the shirt of shame. It is simply too cold to be wearing something like that. Listen, Alex lives on the West Coast. He can endure short sleeves for a week. Now, we've got 5 really interesting decks lined up for you today. 2 of them are pretty expected. Warrior Toolbox and Chaos Warrior are the hallmarks of the format. Powerful control decks that have toolbox capabilities, allowing you to search the perfect answer in almost any given situation. But you know me. You know what decks I want to play. I'm looking at the garbage on this wheel, and there's a lot of it. Burn, of course, is the least suspect of the 3 remaining decks. We would just play a control deck that plays more copies of Just Desserts, more copies of Ring of Destruction, more copies of Magic Cylinder than otherwise we should be. But the other 2 are really something special. Last Turn is a card that needs no introduction. When you flip it up, the pair of you go at it one final time in a special battle phase using any monster from your opponent's deck and whatever you've got on field, and whoever remains on field wins. There are a couple of ways to cheat this limit, however, by using something like Jowgen to prevent your opponent from special summoning, or getting a monster so large they couldn't possibly get over it. Reasoning Gate is a new addition to the Degenerate combo pool. It's kind of Yu-Gi-Oh's version of Reanimator in Magic. You are able to Monster Gate, or Reasoning, as the name implies, any card off the top of your deck until you hit something that can be normal summoned or set. Now, usually this involves milling a couple of cards like Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, and Chaos Sorcerer before you hit something like a Dark Magician of Chaos, so you can do it again, a Jinzo to lock your opponent out of trap cards, or an Air Knight Parshath to get more advantage. However, if you draw a copy of a card called Monster Reincarnation, you can add one of those Chaos monsters back to your hand, then banish cards you milled in order to summon it, then fire off Dimension Fusion, a card that is still legal at this time, to summon them all back. It is a sweet strategy, and I've got the spins to play something sweet. 2 banked. Let's see what we can get away with. Alright, so this is our first spin. And there it is, baby.
You know, it was bound to happen eventually. I wasn't going to stay out of the shirt of shame forever, but after playing that abomination of a Makira OTK deck in the last episode, I probably deserve it. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rise of Destiny in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! We have 6 months until the next ban list, several set releases and product releases to cover, and the decks aren't really going to change too much, but luckily for you, the diversity and the breadth of decks is very vast. As you can see on the wheel, we actually do have some new contenders here, and let's quickly go ahead and cover them. Chaos Warrior is still on here. This is probably the best deck of the format until the ban list does come around. Warrior Toolbox is still another deck that, yes, we did kind of showcase with Makira. We didn't play it to its full potential, and if there's a deck to like counterpick Chaos Warrior, it's probably going the pure anti-meta Warrior Toolbox route. Reasoning Gate is an absolutely hilarious all-in high variance deck that I'm sure Joseph will just be gunning for. For those of you who may remember the Magical Scientist FTK episode a few episodes back, it's very similar, except you're not playing Magical Scientist, and instead you're just trying to high roll out big monsters like Dark Magician of Chaos and the like, and then you banish some for stuff like Chaos Sorcerer and BLS, and then Dimension Fusion them back. The deck is just so degenerate. Burn is actually a strategy we've had on a wheel several times, and neither of us has really elected to play. I think Joseph played a really weird goat burn deck with like Cannon Soldier in like one of the very first episodes of this series, but there's enough tools now that burn is actually a very viable strategy, and honestly, I think it's worth having on the wheel, because if we're ever going to play burn, this is probably one of the best times times to do it. And of course, we have last turn OTK because I know Joseph wants this probably more than he wants Reasoning Gate, but he wants his shot at redemption, and this deck is still playable, so I thought it'd be hilarious to include it. I have a few spins to go through, even though I did lose because we're going from prior episodes. Let's go ahead and give the wheel a few good spins here and see what our first pick is going to be. Okay, this is super tempting. So the reason I want to play this, reason, get it, is because Joseph really hates when I absolutely sack him. And this is one of the sackiest decks on the wheel. So I might just have to go for it for that reason alone. I'm already wearing the shirt of shame, so what do I have to lose? Yeah, let's go ahead and lock in Reasoning Gate.
So here's what we're playing. I mean, I don't feel good about it, but here's what we're playing. This is basically a rogues gallery of every ban-worthy monster in early Yu-Gi-Oh! And we aim to get as many out as possible using Reasoning and Monster Gate to win the game. If that doesn't work, we can use Monster Reincarnation to bring back Chaos monsters, summon them, and Dimension Fusion everything back. It's just as high roll as you could imagine, and that's just how I like it. Though probably not a very good idea against Cimoooooooo and his unbelievable RNG manipulation. Regardless, let's check out the individual cards. We've got 2 Air Knight Parshath. This card pierces, and when it deals damage, draws you a card. Fantastic in a format that includes scapegoats. We've got Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This card is fantastic, and its little brother, Chaos Sorcerer, is still pretty good. Dark Magician of Chaos is limited, so unfortunately we can't play as many as we'd like, but when this hits the field, we get a spell card back. That's what the errata used to allow it to do. We've got Jinzo to turn off traps. We've got Magical Scientist, still at 1 for some reason. Sacred Crane is not fantastic, but when it's special summoned, we get to draw a card. Ideally, we can go from Monster Gate into Monster Gate, and Sinister Serpent isn't a great hit off of any of these cards, but he's a fantastic way to get Monster Gates going without having to commit resources. We've got Book of Moon. You'd usually be playing more copies of this, but I don't think it's very wise given that our format isn't GOAT. That's when this card becomes really powerful. We've got Card Destruction as well to cycle through our deck and potentially turn off really powerful spells in Alex's hand. Confiscation. Hand Destruction is still legal at this point in time for some reason. And Triple Dimension Fusion. Now, this card can never come off for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, because it is a fusion card. It counts as a fusion card. You can search it off for a Scorpio, for example. It allows you to pay 2,000 life points to special summon as many monsters that are removed from play as possible. Not good. We've got a copy of Heavy Storm as well, plus 3 Metamorphosis. We're almost playing GOAT format. 3 copies of Monster Gate, 2 copies of Monster Reincarnation. It's very bricky. I don't really want to draw it. Mystical Space Typhoon, Pot of Greed, Premature Burial, 3 Reasoning, 3 Scapegoat to protect our life points and also give us sweet turnarounds with Metamorphosis, a copy of Snatch Steal, a Forceful Sentry, a Call of the Haunted, and a Ring of Destruction. In the side deck, we've got 2 copies of Book of Moon if Alex is on something that demands we interact with him. Emergency Provisions if he's on exactly Burn. I don't know, maybe we can send a Call of the Haunted. 3 copies of Giant Trunade, still unlimited at this point in time for some ungodly reason. I imagine we'll be boarding into this a lot, but there's a significant chance that Alex is not playing any disruption and is just on a parallel FTK, at which point we probably will not be doing anything regarding this card. Triple Dust Tornado, Triple Raigeki Break. This is a little suspect. It's a really bad card against control decks because you're minusing yourself so much, but it's very, very, very strong against exactly last turn. If you pop the Jowgen in response to their last turn activation, I mean, what are they going to do? We finally got 3 Solemn Judgment for odds and ends. So I'm feeling pretty good about this deck. I am really excited to show off what it can do, and hopefully we don't get steamrolled.
We all know what wonderful luck I've had in the past with Reasoning decks, so I could not pass up the opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Reasoning Gate. So if you've never seen this deck before, it is very similar to the Magical Scientist FTK of sorts, but it has a little bit of a different win condition. Basically, we're trying to resolve either Reasoning or Monster Gate and summon one of our big monsters here. We also have the option to get to Sacred Crane, which just draws us a card, so we break even on advantage practically. Then these are primarily light and dark monsters we're dealing with here. When these are in the graveyard, we can banish some of them for stuff like Chaos Sorcerer and Blackluster Soldier, then Dimension Fusion them back and probably just win the game automatically. The deck is disgusting and has a lot of really cool tricks up its sleeve. So let's do the card by card. First up is Air Knight Parshath. This is a 5, and this is the number that he's probably least likely to call more than anything. This is great because it draws us more cards if he's playing any sort of scapegoat-oriented deck. This this card is just going to absolutely annihilate him. Parshath is just a beast. 1 BLS because BLS is pretty much the big win condition that if we're, falling behind or if we're looking to close out a game very quickly, this is going to be the way to do so. 3 Chaos Sorcerer because we're trying to fill up the banished pile for Dimension Fusion so we can go in for that big OTK. 1 Dark Magician of Chaos. Remember, this is pre-errata, so on summon, it will add a spell back to my hand. That means if we hit it off of Monster Gate, off of Reasoning, this will trigger, and Dark Magician of Chaos also banishes whatever it battles to, and it's 2,800 to boot. 1 copy of Jinzo to shut down all of his traps if he's on a trap-oriented strategy, and 3 copies of Sacred Crane. Again, I don't think he's likely to call 4, so if we hit this, it's actually fine. We just get to draw a card, and we just basically replace the copy of Reasoning or Monster Gate. Moving on to the 26 spell cards, Change of Heart, Confiscation, 3 copies of Dimension Fusion because it is our win condition, 3 copies of Trunade paired with a Heavy Storm to clear the way so that way we can use the Dimension Fusion and know that we can actually get in and win, 3 copies of Metamorphosis. We actually have a lot of different varying levels here that we could potentially metamorphosize into other types of cards. Metamorphosis is also important because we're playing Scapegoat, and being able to control the board with cards like Thousand Eyes Restrict is important in the early game, so that way we don't get blown out by whatever he might be playing. So this might be the first time we actually really see Metamorphosis in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! To any such degree, but once we get more later into GOAT format, I'm sure you're going to see this card plenty. 3 copies of Monster Gate. This is basically just Reasoning, except we have to tribute a monster. What's fortunate, though, is that we have Scapegoat, so if we have Scapegoat up on the next turn, we can sacrifice one of the goats to Monster Gate. Remember, Scapegoat says it can't be tributed for a tribute summon, but it's fair game for Monster Gate, so being able to turn a Scapegoat into something like a Demok seems like a pretty good exchange to me. 1 copy of Monster Reincarnation. This is actually one of the new cards out of Rise of Destiny. This will allow us to get back Chaos Sorcerer or Blackluster Soldier if we hit it off of Reasoning or Monster Gate, and we need to get it back. This is what this card is here for. Pot of Greed for draw power, Premature Burial just to be able to bring any of these monsters back, which is crazy. Reasoning at 3, as well as Scapegoat. Scapegoat's a very strong defensive card, but it also can be very offensive in tandem with Monster Gate, Snatch Steal, and the Forceful Sentry. For the traps, I'm only playing 3 of them. Call the Haunted because it serves functionally the same role as Premature Burial, Ring of Destruction to be able to close the gap on life points even quicker, and Torrential Tribute in case we need to clear the board a bit and just pave a pathway for us to win. Torrential is going to be the card to do so. The extra deck is just a bunch of Metamorphosis targets. We have Dark Balter the Terrible for a 5. Dark Blade the Dragon Knight is actually a 6 that is brand new out of Rise of Destiny. This has a sort of Kaiku effect where it can banish 3 of our opponent's cards from their graveyard. So if he's on any sort of Chaos deck, this actually might not be bad. Unfortunately, it has negative synergy with Dimension Fusion because then otherwise he'll be able to bring them back. So we're probably not going to be playing this, but I just wanted to discuss it because it did come out in Rise of Destiny. 2 Dark Flare Knight. We have a Dark Fire Dragon and a Dragoness. These are basically in here because they're like the strongest 3 and 4 in case we steal something of his with like Change of Heart or Snatch Steal, and we don't want him to get it back. 2 Fiend Skull Dragon for dealing with flip effects. Reaper on the Nightmare. If he's on low life points, we can actually metamorphosize Parshath into this and attack him directly, so that's kind of funny. We also have Ryu Senshi for a 6. This is cool because with Chaos Sork, we can actually use Chaos Sork to like banish something. Then we can metamorphosis into Ryu Senshi, and we still have a monster that can attack. It also can negate trap cards, which is pretty cool as well. But the main all-star is, of course, 3,000 Eyes Restrict, being able to suck up his monsters, keep the board under control, and allow us to really control how things are going to go. And then moving on to the side deck, we just have a bunch of random stuff in here. I don't even know if I'm going to side into this. I think it really depends on what he ends up playing, so we'll see. 3 copies of Book of Moon. This is just a nice catch-all, and it's a quick play spell, so I figured having it in here wouldn't hurt. I have a small Mirage of Nightmare package featuring Mirage, Mystical Space Typhoon, and Emergency Provisions. I feel like this deck's going to do so much milling that I'm not even sure if I need this package in here, but if I feel like it might be good, it's only 3 cards, so I can sub it out for maybe like Forceful, Comfy, and like one other card. We have Painful Choice. I don't know if Painful Choice is like super good in this deck. It's like fine, but at the same time, I think our deck just combos enough by itself. The best thing about this card would be getting a lot of the monsters in the graveyard, so that way we could banish them for like Chaos Sork BLS, and then go Dimension Fusion and win that way. That's like the primary role I see this card fitting, but we don't really have like the old days where we can send the best 5 spells in our deck and like automatically win the game. Swords of Revealing Light to stall out if he's on any sort of aggressive deck. 3 Dust Tornado to be able to deal with stuff like Imperial Order or any other card that would like negatively affect our deck. Dust Tornado is a non-spell way of dealing with it. Magic Cylinder just to piss him off, and 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. This might go in going first, but the biggest issue is Dimension Fusion requires 2,000 life points to activate, and so because of that, if we're just using our life points to negate his stuff, we're not going to be able to use Dimension Fusion to win the game, so it's a little bit counterproductive, but again, it all depends on what deck he spun on on the wheel. But man, I cannot wait to see Joseph's face when he saw that we spun this, because he is going to be in for a ride. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to duel. Joseph, I swear to God, if we pulled the same deck again in this episode, I am going to be livid. Judging by your sleeves, I mean, anything's possible. We've got the, all in, but it's upside down, signifying it's supposed to be your all in and it's going your direction. So, that was clever on your part. But after last time, we need some diversity. We can't be doing mirror matches every single time.
Oh, I hope we aren't, because if we're doing a mirror match, it is going to be the least fun thing in the universe. A mirror match of this deck, awful.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll have to see. How do you feel about your pick, though? Did you have to do any respins, or did you get your first pick?
I did not have to do any respins. I feel really good about my pick until I heard you say that right there.
I will let you know, I also did not respin.
Wow,
so
maybe we were fated.
Maybe. It's possible. It's possible. Well, let's go ahead and find out what we got while we shout out our patron, Mr. Joseph Muratala. Thank you for your support, and good luck, Joseph. Ooh. All right. I think that's the first rock, paper, scissors I've won in like 3 episodes.
Yeah,
but,
I want to complain, but that's fine with me.
I mean, I went on like the 8-win streak at the beginning of the year, so I cannot complain in the slightest. I guess going first is the move. I mean, it's debatable. There are some maybe going second decks that we got, but good luck, buddy. I'm going to draw my card. I'm going to see what you're up to. I'm going to confiscation you here. I want to see what you got.
This is a pretty good confiscation for me, because the best card in my hand absolutely is the card on top of my deck.
Oh my god.
I could just be playing Chaos, dude. I could just be playing Chaos.
Yeah, okay. With Metamorphosis, I mean, I guess, like, you could be,
it's just goat control. Don't worry about it. It's just goat control. Oh, no. Tell me you're not on this deck,
no.
Alex. No.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. I got to think here. Okay. So your hand is actually garbage.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Your hand is terrible. Your hand is awful. So what saves you here is the question.
Reasoning is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, Monster Gate will not do it with your current hand. You're going to need, like, to have, like, exactly one of, like, the few starter cards that we've got in this deck. But I want to make sure I insulate in case this game does go a little bit longer. Am I okay with... I'm almost thinking Forceful Sentry so you can't see my hand.
Oh, that is not what I like to hear.
But I also want to get rid of the BLS just as a precaution, because BLS just steals games, as we saw in the last episode.
Right.
I think I am going to elect to go with the BLS.
That seems... man, I don't even know. What if I reincarnation it back? I have all these cards that are rotting in my hand to discard.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and normal summon Sacred Crane.
That's good. That's good. Pretty powerful
Monster Gate, baby! Let's play some slot.
All right, ready? I'm just gonna call it now. Magical Scientist.
Okay.
Well, that's slightly better. Slightly better than Magical Scientist.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And then to, I suppose, play around your Forceful Sentry, I will set 3 cards face down and pass it over.
Oh, that's bad. Standby main okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's bad for you, idiot. Give me your Jinzo.
Oh, shit. You were right about the top card of your deck being the best one.
Nice set cards, by the way. They seem pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, I could Metamorphosis. Jinzo could turn into Dark Balter the Terrible. Oh, not even. He's a 5-star. Jesus.
That has to be one of the best cards that you could have possibly ripped in this case. You get to take my monster, and then you could do what... You could tribute it. Oh, my God. This gives you so many plays now. I hate this.
Now, here's the problem. Obviously, I want to tribute it. I want to send it to the graveyard. I want to summon the Air Knight Parshath. I want to get going out of my garbage hand.
But it's Jinzo.
I know, you could be playing trap cards. Like, if I get blown out by a Ring of Destruction, I do kind of lose. But if you were pulling from the same format of decks that I was, there really aren't very many trap cards.
Right.
There's, like, Call of the Haunted, Ring, maybe Dust Tornado. And... one of those doesn't do anything right now. So even though it sucks to get rid of Jinzo into 3 set cards, I am going to tribute him for Air Knight Parshath.
Understandable.
And we're going to try and get it.
Okay. Now, I really do not want you getting a card here, so I'm going to activate Call of the Haunted.
was caught. That is fine with me.
Okay, I'm going to bring back my Jinzo to hold off your attack here.
Man, that's annoying. It had to be Call of the Haunted. Or Ring.
I was going to say Ring would be... I mean, I guess it wouldn't be as bad. It's equally as bad.
Thinking here.
He's looking through that extra deck for those meta targets.
Oh, it's actually the play. Oh my gosh. This is so stinky. I'm going to Metamorphosis my Parshath.
In main phase 2, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
That's fine.
We're going to summon Reaper on the Nightmare.
Oh, and he can't be killed in battle, can he?
That is correct.
Oh my god, the one of... Okay, I will draw. Wow, this is... I can't believe we have another mirror match. This is so disgusting.
At minimum, there are things happening here. You know, there's some interplay, there's some interaction.
If you want to call it that, sure.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to Reaper on the Nightmare, doing absolutely everything for me here, preserving my life total, a dark monster so I can summon the Chaos Sorcerer when it goes to the graveyard, and most importantly, artificially extending the length of this video past the 8-minute mark. Let's go mid-roll ad!
Yeah, that's the most important part. I think it'd be funny to put an ad right when you said that.
Yeah. YouTube, with your magical algorithm, now.
Okay, so your hand is Forceful Sork, right?
Yes.
This is a weird one.
Yeah, this is two very linear, straightforward combo decks, and now we're just staring at each other like, how the hell did we get into Jinzo versus Reaper?
I'm gonna Giant Trunade.
Damn, that's stupid. Sounds good.
Okay. So, bounce these back.
All right, everyone in the comments, if we mess up this interaction, I'd like to personally apologize for the very first time an old interaction has been messed up by the pair of us.
Ever.
I promise it won't happen again.
Joseph and I are infallible divine beings that are incapable of making human error. So we are going to go with the assumption that if you Giant Trunade Call the Haunted while Jinzo is up, Jinzo will remain on the field.
It's been at least 2 weeks since I forgot what the ban list was.
However, I still don't know how the fuck I'm clearing a Reaper on the Nightmare.
Oh, Reaper, that's what people call me.
And the problem is you have light and dark. Oh no, it's double light and grave. That's
I'll
even
have a
funnier,
dark when
actually.
The Reaper leaves. So get a move on.
Okay, I'm gonna set 3 cards face down to play around both Reaper as well as Forceful Sentry and pass it over.
Oh, I hate this so much. Well,
I can't wait till you monster gate your Reaper.
I'm gonna. I actually can, right?
Why can't you?
I was just wondering about targeting. Well,
maybe.
At minimum, the Call of the Haunted sucks now. So,
I mean, you're not wrong. I'll go. Ooh. Does that do anything?
One way to get out of a bad brick is just to pass for 15 turns. You know, any seasoned VW player knows this. This is the equivalent of VFD.
Go ahead.
Wow, sweet turn, dude. Oh, and a sweet turn from me, too. Wait, this is actually a really sweet turn. So, I know you've got the call. Wow, the call really complicates things, because if I out Jinzo, then you just call that bitch back, and then we gotta worry about it again.
Then we're back to square one.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to Monster Reincarnation, pitching the Forceful Sentry. I'm gonna target Air Knight Parshath back to my hand.
That is fine.
All right, I'm gonna tribute over Reaper the Air Knight Parshath.
Okay, and then now that you have a dark in the graveyard, your plan is to just banish.
I'm going Gage mode, baby. I'm gonna banish a dark and a light, and with Prio, we're gonna get that bad boy out of here.
Yeah, this does complicate things because now he's gone, and I'm not going to be able to call him back. So this is a pretty big turn for you here.
All right, let's go to combat. Please, can I hit? Please, can I hit in?
I really don't want to give you this draw.
You thinking about calling back to Sacred Crane just to save yourself 1,600 life points?
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. You can take your Parshath, get your draw.
Oh, the best card in my deck. You absolute monster. You're so dead. Wow.
I'll take a Snatch Seal now. That would be nice. That's not what I wanted. Oh my god. Okay. How the hell do we out this? This is actually quite interesting.
What are you scheming over there, buddy?
How badly do I want this to go? I'm kind of digging it. Okay, I'm going to start my turn by activating Call of the Haunted, targeting my Sacred Crane.
Okay, I'm gonna Mystical Space Typhoon the Call of the Haunted.
I actually fully expected that you were going to do that, so that's fine. I guess worst case scenario happened, but that's okay. I'm going to activate Dimension Fusion!
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, because you do not get to get any of your cards back because one of them wasn't properly fusion summoned and one of them wasn't properly summoned. So I just get this for free.
That sucks. I'm not very happy about it.
So I will go to the battle phase. I'll hit into the Chaos Sort because otherwise my Jinzo is not long for this earth.
All right, to the grave he goes.
I'll go to main 2 and I will just pass the turn. Go ahead.
Okay, I will go to main 1. Did not think I was going to get a use out of this, but let's fire off the confiscation, buddy.
Ooh, it was my Air Knight Parshath.
Dang, that card sucks. Speaking of, okay, well, at minimum...
Now you know why I was, now you know why I wanted to call the Haunted that Sacred Crane.
At minimum, our Sork is on. Oh, my Kingdom for a block attack. I guess I will switch my monster to defense position. If you draw the Sacred Crane, that's fine.
I will draw. Is not Sacred Crane. Oh my god, like... If we weren't playing the same deck, the things you would normally do make so much sense, but it's like...
What's the matter, Cimo? Can't adapt?
I can adapt, it's just...
Okay, well,
I don't
that makes
wanna.
one of us.
I'll go to the battle phase, I'll hit into Parshath.
No, I needed him.
I'll just go to main 2, and I'll just pass. Go ahead.
I'll draw for turn.
Alright, like to see it. We'll draw. That is... awful. All right, swing for 24.
I'll take it.
And I'll pass.
All right, by the powers vested in me, I Divine Chaos Sorcerer to the top of my deck. I fucking did it.
No way.
I did it. I am.
No fucking way.
I'm so good at Yu-Gi-Oh, Alex. You could never be this good at Yu-Gi-Oh. You fool.
Unbelievable.
You absolute... Oh my god. Okay, so it's Sork.
Unreal. Unreal.
It's gonna get worse. I'm gonna fire off Dimension Fusion.
Oh god, yeah, it's about to get a lot worse.
And ooh, is that must first be special summoned on this card?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yes,
how
it
interesting.
is.
All right, we're gonna Chaos Sork this bad boy away,
Sure.
and let's see if we can get it for lethal here.
The 19 is fine.
All right, I will draw my card and then attempt to get in for 23.
Yeah, you got it.
Woo!
Oh my god.
I do not. I don't feel like I should have won that one, but you know what? I did.
I don't feel like you should have won that one either. I can't believe it. I cannot believe we picked the same deck again, and we both first spun it as well. Honestly, when I saw your sleeves, I had a feeling this is what you were going to be playing because both of us just didn't want to use any brain cells, and we just picked whatever the easiest autopilot deck was going to be to lead us to victory. And sure enough, I can't, you know, I must feel bad for the people watching this that they have to watch you talk about your deck and then me talk about my deck, and they're the same deck.
Oh, that's going to be really embarrassing. Me being like, oh, let me just explain the intricacy of activating Monster Gate. Realistically, I think it'll be fine. My explanation is like 30 seconds. What do you need to know other than the text of these cards to pilot this deck perfectly?
If anything, at least I have the tenure of playing these decks because I'm magical scientist, so it's like, yeah, it's fine. But all right, good luck to you. Let's see if I can force a game 3 here.
God, this hand is so good, except for the fact that I want all of these cards in my deck.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and see if you're lying. I'm going to Forceful Sentry you.
Oh my god, Alex. This was the biggest mistake of your life. Oh, pick one card. Put it back, baby. These are another banger of a hand.
You're right. I don't really want to give you any of these. Okay, so I'm kind of okay with you having Demok. I'm also kind of okay with you having Parshath. Forceful Sentry is up for consideration. Giving you Sacred Crane is good because then you don't have a monster to play, and then if you draw like Monster Gate's dead. Scapegoat's also a problem because then with Scapegoat, I can't really, you know, do much. Do I care that you have Sacred Crane?
Think it's a 5-turn clock, Alex. You can't let let that happen. If you give me Sacred Crane and tuck the Air Knight Parshath, all I have to do is find one more Sacred Crane, and then I can tribute summon Dark Magician of Chaos.
I mean, it's not going to matter because the best card in your deck is on top again, so...
That's true.
I'm torn between Sentry and Scapegoat here. Both of them, with the composition of my hand, both of these cards, I kind of don't want to give you the knowledge, and I also just don't want you having goats in general. I'm going to give you back the, I'm going to tuck back the Forceful, actually.
That seems correct, but I mean, what do I know? I can't even manage to play this deck without drawing every single target in my deck.
I'm going to set 2 cards face down, and I'll pass it to you.
Okay. Lord Almighty, Almighty Ra, I ask you for very little. But today I come here to ask you for a copy of Monster Gate. I just want Monster Gate, baby. This hand is so bad. I just need Monster Gate. Oh, that's not Monster Gate. All right, you ready? It's time for the Sacred Crane beats. Let's see you stand up to this, idiot.
I'll Scapegoat.
Fine. I'll absolutely trade Sacred Crane for a quarter of Scapegoat.
Thank you.
That's the greatest trade this card has ever amounted to. Oh my god.
All right, I will draw for turn. Oh, fantastic. Great rip. Fantastic rip.
Is it possible that this deck is terrible? We've been hoodwinked into playing it, and the only reason it looks competitive is because it's playing itself?
Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to flip up a Monster Gate and go with one of my goats here.
Excuse me, sir. That's a little bit of an issue. Scapegoats can't be tributed, but Monster Gate says tribute on it.
They can be because it's only tribute for a tribute summon, not for the activation of Monster Gate.
What an interesting fact. Your Monster Gate is fine.
All right. It's time to spin, baby. Let's see where we go.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. This did me in last time, to be fair.
This would be a lot better if I was playing trap cards.
Yeah. Okay. So now I know you have Scapegoat. So where do we go from here? I am going to have to worry about the Scapegoats at some point. So I suppose I'll normal summon a Sacred Crane of my own. We'll go to battle phase. I'm going to hit into your Sacred Crane.
800 it is.
And if you want to take 16, go ahead.
I will.
Okay. And then I shall just pass the turn. Over to you.
I will activate Scapegoat at end
Of
step.
course. Oh, does someone have their meta? Was that their card for turn?
Oh, God, I wish. Can you imagine? Oh, Alex, you have no idea. If I drew meta, it'd be over. Unfortunately, I have drawn Sacred Crane.
Oh, perfect.
Let's see if we can't get this going.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'll draw. Oh, hey, Joseph, you know what's better than 1 Monster Gate? How about 2 Monster Gates?
I'm going to attack you. I'm going to fly down to the West Coast. I'm going to turn on the weather machine. Oh, my God. Yeah, mill your whole deck, idiot. Mill it all.
Right. That's where it's going so far. Okay, that's a
nope.
whiff, right? So that doesn't count. Oh, what a perfect candidate for when you have Scapegoat out. What a coincidence.
Stop the count. Stop the count. No. Hold up, baby.
Oh, my God.
I was just kidding about attacking you.
Okay. Can I win here?
No way. What, do you have a lightning vortex? You have a Raigeki?
Well, Lightning Vortex isn't legal yet. I wish.
I don't think Raigeki is either.
No, yeah, there's no way.
Oh, thank God.
I think. Right. I mean, we'll see, but...
Right now, my win condition involves convincing you that there was an old Scapegoat errata that let you tribute over the monsters. Actually, it's first printing in the McDonald's promotional set.
All right, I am going to drop BLS, though. Because I do have that.
Come on.
I will clear out the goats because I don't want you having any sort of comeback mechanic here. So you're going to take 19 from the Parshath, and then I get to draw off of that. Wow, that's terrible. Okay, main phase 2.
Dark hole?
I suppose I'll pass. Go ahead.
Right on freaking time.
Nice double Sacred Crane in the graveyard, idiot.
I'm gonna Metamorphosis your Scapegoat token. You know, I would like to draw 1 Reasoning or Monster Gate this set. Just 1. I'm so mad. I am so mad. Listen, we got a little bit of back and forth on that first one. We got some, some goofs and some gaffes. We got some funny little bits in. That second one was pure pain. That was...
You're going up against the sack master, Joseph. I mean, this is... I don't know what else you expected.
I knew it was going to be a problem playing a format that includes this deck against the individual who cannot stop opening Hand Destruction Pot of Greed. I didn't know it would be this bad. I would like to one-time this set. Draw Reasoning or Monster Gate. Just one. I just want one of them.
You do get to go first this time, so that will potentially give you a chance to see that.
Well,
and hopefully that's the case.
Reasoning!
Okay, we haven't had to have this discussion yet because we've only had Monster Gate resolve. So Reasoning's a weird one, right? Because there's quite a diversity of monsters to pick from here. Sacred Crane's a 4, but honestly, I don't think it's worth calling 4 for Sacred Crane. Like, I just think that's stupid. Parshath is a 5, and Parshath can be a problem. We have Jinzo at 6, but neither of us are playing traps, so I don't even know if that's good. And then we have Demok at 8, which basically just lets you re-roll if you hit it. However, it's also a 1-of. There is an argument to pick Crane, because if you're playing the most Crane out of anything, you're the most likely to hit it. And then you don't get the special summon, then you don't get the replacement. Parshath is also just like a really, really strong card. I'm going to call 5. I think.
Simo, I just have to... What monster are you thinking of? Thunder Dragon?
Parshath's a 5.
All right, okay. Let's see him. Nope. Ooh, the worst one.
Shit.
All right, I'm going to be firing that Reasoning again. You want to call 5 again?
God. Well, I mean, at least the 8s are out of the deck, unless you're playing the fucking creator, which, knowing you could be, for all I know.
I did think about it.
I did too. It is the Rise of Destiny episode, to be fair. So I think if there was a time to play creator, the only time it would be acceptable would be now. Okay, I'm going to go 5 again.
All right.
Okay,
that's a whiff.
Oh, okay. Like it. Now, obviously, you have 5 ways to bring it back, and you could also just have one in your hand, so it may not matter.
Miserable. Okay, well, unfortunately, because I don't play any trap cards, I don't have anything else to do, so go ahead, buddy.
I'll draw. Okay, Joseph, my turn.
I'm going to call something, and you're going to go, Joseph, you're the stupidest person on the planet. Joseph, you're so dumb. You're going to say, Joseph, you're not smart at all. And here's what I want to tell you. Would an unintelligent individual have won game 1? Would the smartest person on the planet have been able to sit behind Reaper on the Nightmare? I'm just telling you. My IQ is unparalleled. And that is why, with the knowledge that you are the luckiest motherfucker on the planet, and that I don't care about Jinzo or Parshath or Sacred Crane, I will be calling 8.
Okay, 8's the call, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's see how lucky you are. Okay, that's a whiff. That's another whiff.
Okay.
All right, Sacred Crane.
That's
Sacred Crane. That's fine. That's fine. That's acceptable. Okay. So, Sacred Crane trigger, I get to draw a card.
Yep.
Never thought I'd be saying that. Oh. Do I just have game? Hold on a second. I need to do some math. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to Monster Reincarnation, pitching the Dark Magician of Chaos in my hand. Smartest motherfucker alive, huh?
Oh, no.
I'm going to go ahead and get this Chaos Sork back to my hand.
Fine. That's okay. It's no problem.
I'm going to metamorphosis this Sacred Crane into a copy of Darkfire Dragon.
Yeah, now it's a problem. Yeah.
I am going to banish a dark and a light and bring out Blackluster Soldier. And then I'm going to Dimension Fusion. Bring back Demok, bring back Sacred Crane trigger, draw a card, Demok also trigger.
Oh boy, this is not going well, folks.
Okay, I will go ahead and add back. Let's see. I have so many options. Let's just take back Reasoning. Let's go ahead and just extend the misery. I'm going to Reasoning again, Joseph. What would you like to call this time?
Okay, am I dead now? I'm 32, 5K. I think I'm already dead.
Oh, you're already dead. I just want to have some fun.
Is there something that could fuck you up? I'm gonna say 4.
Okay, he's gonna say 4. That's a whiff. Oh, would you look at that? The Air Knight Parshath. I'll go ahead and take that. That's fine. Let's go ahead and proceed to the battle phase, and let's have BLS take out this D-Mach here.
Well, you know, it really do be BLS. Oh, God.
I need to also draw my card off of Parshath, too.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that! It was a Monster Gate! How wonderful!
Well, I will let you know, Alex, if you didn't kill me, I did have lethal on the crackback.
Oh, did you really? What was in your hand?
Yeah, so the hand is Scientist, Gate, Sork, Crane. So I can reincarnation to, so if D-Mach lives, if you pass on Sacred Crane, I can Scientist out a monster, Thousand Eyes Restrict, take your monster, Gate the Restrict away. I have enough in the grave to Sork twice, and that is it. So, you know, just a fun little game between friends. Just an interesting little back and forth here.
What a scumbag. He was actually playing Magical Scientist.
What do you mean, what a scumbag? You drew BLS twice. Oh my God. What's wrong with Scientist?
I figured that, like, I mean, I guess you're not playing Catapult Turtle, right?
No, of course not. No.
Okay.
I'm playing Tempo Scientist. He just...
I mean, understandably, I guess, okay, Scientist is actually pretty good in this deck because you can also just use it for anything in terms of Monster Gate fodder and things like that. So yes, like the card itself is fine. I didn't want to play Magical Scientist because I already played it in 2 other episodes. So I like figured that I would stay off of that card.
Oh, but
I can understand
no problem playing BLS. No problem whatsoever playing that and finding it again.
I mean, you're playing it too. It's not like it's a mystery.
Yeah, but when I play it, it's cool, it's based. When you play it, it's cringe.
I don't know. This turn was pretty base. This shows why this deck was actually something to be feared, right? Because all of a sudden, if you just have the right combination of cards, this deck just takes it up to 11. Honestly, my hand, if I did not get reasoning for the first thing of my turn, my hand was just almost unplayable. I had like Meta, Scapegoat, BLS, Sork, and I think I had a Mystical Space Typhoon in my hand as well. I don't remember. Maybe Dimension Fusion. But in any case, it was just like the reasoning is what brought it all together and then just set the whole plan in motion. I think Monster Reincarnation was in my hand, actually. I don't remember. It's all a blur. Monster Reincarnation is actually really cool in this deck. A lot of people may remember Monster Reincarnation from like Judgment Dragon with Lightsworn, right? Because you can just get back the JD if you mill it. That's super likely to happen. Beckoning Light was something people did anyway. But in this deck, it's actually cool because it sets you up for the Dimension Fusion Banish as well to help you get to the combo. So the fact that I was able to get the D-Mach into the grave here to resurrect it off of the Dimension Fusion was just crazy. Yeah, people wonder why Dimension Fusion is banned. Yeah, this is why.
This isn't even like top 5 most degenerate things you could do with Dimension Fusion.
No.
If you were playing this card today, like imagine you banish monsters for White Dragon, Wyverburster, and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent just to bring them back. I mean, this card is a remnant of a time when being banished actually meant something. And now it's just another zone that monsters can hang out in. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this matchup except it was very fun. I'm glad we rolled the same one again. I'm glad you disclosed you drew Reasoning as your 6th card so that I can drive to your house and beat you up. I'm very happy that Konami printed BLS and left it legal for as long as they did. Same with D-Mach, just a huge fan. That is all I would say, I think.
You're probably just itching for when the ban list comes around to BLS so that you don't lose. You were sick of losing. You were sick of losing to Graceful Charity, and funny enough, that's going to come back before BLS gets banned.
You know, Graceful Charity, you at least had, you know, a sliver of hope. The BLS, when it hits the field, it's over. The game is now done.
I also love, too, just, like, the flexibility of a card like Metamorphosis, right? I mean, obviously, its primary purpose is Thousand Eyes Restrict to control the board, but in a cool niche scenario like this, where you can actually meta away the Crane for a Dark Fire Dragon, and then actually have the light fodder in the graveyard to be able to go into the Chaos play as a result of it. It's just, like, neat thing. I love Metamorphosis, just, like, it's broken, yes, but I love what it does in terms of allowing people to use the extra deck in a way that otherwise wouldn't have been toolboxed before, because no one was summoning Dark Fire Dragon regularly. No one was summoning Dark Balter the Terrible or Ryu Senshi through regular means. And Metamorphosis allowed players to actually use some of these cards in interesting and unique ways, obviously until the card gets banned because, you know, people realize it's just bonkers and it's too good. But that aside, I just think the design of Metamorphosis is really neat.
It's a sweet card. I'm happy that it is responsible for kind of the most interesting and well-known interaction in one of Yu-Gi-Oh's all-time fan favorite formats. There is not a lot that is more embarrassing than losing because your opponent meted into Darkfire Dragon. There's very little that is as embarrassing as that. Look at this fucking card. He's got the little globes of fire. The person who drew this card spent less time thinking about it than you did doing the Monster Gate play. That is just really sad.
What's even funnier is that I almost didn't even put the Darkfire Dragon in my deck, and then I would have felt really bad.
Oh my god.
I even said, I'm like, it may come up where I want to meta Sacred Crane, or if I take something with like Snatch Steal and we're in a simplified game state or Change of Heart, maybe I don't want to give it back to you so you can just meta it away so they don't get it back. Like, it could come up. You have to remember too, back then, the extra deck had 4 billion cards. Like, there wasn't a 15 card cap on it. So you could actually afford to play one of every single fusion monster in the fusion deck if you wanted to. Yeah. But now we're limited to 15 cards, so obviously making that sort of decision, it's like, well, I think I'd rather just play 3 of the best ones that are there, like Reaper of the Nightmare, which we actually saw in the first game actually come up as well.
Yeah, obviously now extra deck monsters have huge utility. They start plays, they extend plays, they're combo enablers, so you do have to kind of put a cap on how many you're able to play. But back in the day, like, there was no problem if someone was like, oh shit, that guy has more Darkfire Dragons than me. Oh my god, they showed up with a full playset of Fusionist. So you would have people show up with like a 300 card fusion deck, and they would only ever go into it to get Thousand Eyes Restrict.
You know that meme of the 2 players bringing their 2200 card deck to the tournament? That was actually just the fusion deck. Their main deck was in the U-Haul that they brought to the main event.
Oh god. This was a bad one. Comments, sound off about how many more combo mirrors you want us to do. I'm thinking for GOAT format, we can both play Royal Magical Library FTK. We can play, I don't know, Convulsions of Nature, Black Pendant. Maybe we can skip ahead to 2020 and just Gumblar each other.
What's fun about this, though, is that because there's such a wide breadth of decks during this time, we actually can take a few episodes to show a lot of them off. Obviously, that may take longer than anticipated since you and I keep picking the same goddamn deck.
Yeah, well, yes.
But we still have, like, you and I were discussing before we even recorded this, there was, what, like 8 to 10 decks that we could have put on the wheel. And so we're going to be set for the next few episodes. And then even once we enter GOAT format, a lot of these decks that we're playing now are just like pre the GOAT format ban list and missing whatever respective cards that haven't been released yet, like Flaming Eternity's next episode. Lightning Vortex would have actually been pretty good with these scapegoats running around, but we don't have it yet, so there's really no board wipe in the game apart from like Torrential Tribute, which in this deck kind of sucks, to be honest.
Right. It's weird, you know, you want to be sort of simultaneously playing decks that were fun and interesting and specific to the time period. You want to like be exploring what was playable, but unfortunately before GOAT format, the answer to what was playable is the same decks in GOAT format, except they weren't playing Charity Delinquent. And here we are.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! We have to shout out our patrons at the end, as always. So big shouts to Sean Alling Jr., Shadow1317, Showtagadist, Neo Cypher Slacker, Ika Ironfang, Tim00x3, Brian Dancer, and Gayoko, Rasmus Ron, Pony Stark Part 2, Joshua Wiley, Dan the Man Hoban, Leah Roche, Michael Dente, Synchro Guy, Ole, Thomas Nelson, Jarvis Martin, Timothy Chen, Emil Cohen, Brother Paul, Logan Thomas, Benjamin Fuller, Pure Ace, Yu-Gi-Oh! Hot Pack, Sylvia Wilds, Dragon Lord, Nehru Celeste, Jesse Wood, Chris Hood, GW, Jordan Coons, Lumpy, Dolly Wop, Shane Reese, Rockley325, Peter Gregory, Mystic Walk, True Nerdgasm, and Dre Kotick. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.